My name is Jerry, and this is how you can learn how to do a basketball crossover. In short, a basketball crossover is a mechanism used in basketball that is able to trick or fake the defender/opponent into going this way and defending you this way, when in reality, you're going to go the other way. So why is a basketball crossover even necessary? Well, a basketball crossover, which is commonly used in basketball games, helps you gain space on an opponent or defender. For example, if I can trick the opponent into going this way, when I'm actually really going this way, then when I get here and the opponent is there, I'm able to have more space over the opponent and I can shoot a shot here, or I can drive to the basket and be able to do it more efficiently and effectively. There are three main phases to a basketball crossover. Number one, there's a preparation phase. So the preparation phase is what happens before you do the crossover. The second phase is the execution phase, which is you actually performing the crossover itself. The third phase and the final phase is the follow-through phase, which is what happens after you've done the crossover. The most important phase to a crossover is a preparation phase, because this is what usually tricks the opponent, and this is what usually makes the opponent fall for your trick of the crossover. It is important to note that I'll be talking about the right to left crossover, which is crossing over from the right to the left, instead of the left to right crossover. The first phase to a basketball crossover is the preparation phase. So the preparation phase usually starts out with a preemptive move. This can be a in between the legs move, it can be an in and out move, it can be just a simple dribble, or in other cases it can also be another crossover, as I will talk about later in this video. It is important to note that the part of your hand that is touching the ball is always going to be the fingers, not necessarily the fingertips, and you can use the palm to some extent, but there should be control over the ball. Now, after doing the preemptive move, you should have your legs almost straight, your body facing forward towards the opponent, and your eyes should be looking straight at your opponent. This will make it look like to the opponent that you will perform a drive to this side, or you're about to do something and the opponent needs to focus on what you're going to do. So now at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to make your hand on top of the ball. You're going to move it to the side quickly, and at the same time what you're going to do, you're going to face in that direction and you're going to hop off of your left foot. So what I mean by hop off your left foot is when you're making your body straight like this and you're in a passive position where the opponent knows that you're going to do something, and then suddenly you hop off your left foot, the opponent will instantly guard you, and at that point they will instantly flinch at what you've done. However, it is important to note, and it's important to face forward for this reason, because if the opponent is not actually guarding you and you're facing forward like this and you're about to do the crossover, you don't even have to do it. You can just simply drive in that direction without even caring about doing the crossover. So it'll look something like this. Alright, so after you hopped off of your left foot, you're going to land aggressively with your right foot. So by aggressively, you don't have to land with a huge stomp. It could just be a subtle stomp, and it can just be very suddenly. The way that you're landing also matters. When you're landing, make sure you're landing with around an angle of your leg to the ground of 120 degrees or less. When you're landing, your leg has to be very heavily bent, while your other leg is to remain quite straight. So while you're landing with your left or with your right foot in this direction, you also have to do something with your arm. We're going to bring our arm out straight like this. You can also do something with your left arm. Your left arm really isn't doing anything at this point, and to make the crossover more convincing, what I tend to do is I tend to put my arm in front in this direction like this. And I do this because when you are driving in a direction, you usually put your arm out to prevent the defender from stealing the ball from you. So when I'm doing this, it looks like I'm trying to prevent the defender from stealing the ball from me when I'm about to drive in this direction. In total, up to now, the preparation phase should look something like this. Now it's time for the execution phase. So for the execution phase, when the ball has reached your knees height, what you have to do now is dribble the ball in between your feet in front of you. This dribble should be very wide and it should take the defender off guard. When you are dribbling the ball in between your feet, change your momentum of your body from the right to the left. What I mean by changing your momentum is basically your whole body leans towards this way and your right leg starts unbending and your left leg starts bending. So that this way, you're driving this way instead of that way. Additionally, your left arm, since it's been here, moves to the left and moves to the knees height to catch the ball. So when you're dribbling the ball in between your feet, it's also important to mention that you're trying to dribble to your knees height. This takes a lot of practice, but eventually you'll get it done correctly. And so in the end, the execution phase looks a little like this. Now, the last main phase of basketball crossover is the follow-through phase. So, first of all, after you bring the ball over here and your hand catches the ball, make sure to straighten up your body. The reason you have to straighten up your body is so that it's easier to make the next move. Whether you're going to drive forward, whether you're going to shoot, or whether you're just going to pass to another teammate. Additionally, bring your legs, your right leg, next to your left leg, and bring your left leg away. This helps stabilize the crossover. Now when you get here, you have a variety of things you can do. You can first of all shoot, and if you're planning to shoot, place your right arm and your right hand over the ball and take a shot. If you're planning to drive, then dribble forward and aim for the basket. The follow-through phase is pretty simple, and this is how it should look like. Now I'll be talking about some tips or some modifications for crossovers if you are a pro, if you're a beginner, or if you're at different levels. What I mean by this is after you've done your first crossover, you can do a second one in the same stroke. So it looks something like this. Additionally, you can try changing the timing of your crossover. For example, if the first crossover you've done takes a long time, then you can change the timing into like something like this. Now, for beginners, you can have many different variations to do it. So first of all, you can do it much slower, or you can do it much faster. Both of these are helpful for beginners, as you don't have to use as much effort exaggerating your leg motion or exaggerating any of your motions. Additionally, you can try making the crossover less extreme. So you can just do like this. There are many different variations of crossovers you can do. Number one, you can do the in between the legs crossover. You can also do the behind the back crossover. And you can also do something called the sham crossover. And that is all you need to know about how you can do a crossover.